everyone. At 20:38 last night, I sent Zels this little WhatsApp. These baby Boks are a horror show. There isn't a future test Bok in this team, and they certainly aren't a well-conditioned or well-coached or well-selected team. Georgia, Italy, and Argentina have physically bossed them. And then we have loaded our backline with little Angelo Davids type winners.
Oh.
He responded, the backs are good, the forwards are shite. They'll be back. And they were. From 16-7 down, they won 24-16. They're into the semi-finals. They'll play Ireland in the semi-finals. I do think it's one of the worst Bok teams I've seen at an under-20 event. But Athlone came alive last night. The people came out and supported them, and they got the win. They play against Ireland, and England play against France.
Francais.
Your impressions, mate? You seem to back this under-20 side. I was busy retiring them all at halftime last night.
That was one of the most engaging under-20 matches I've ever watched. And for a South African team to win with no functioning set piece, limited ability to stop them all, like you could. There's a lot of issues with this team that you could raise, but the character that they showed to pull it back like that, they were certainly helped by Argentina deciding that everything that worked for them in the first half, they were going to go away from it in the second 40.
Yeah, I thought Argentina were clueless in that second half, but I also thought the Boks, small things, between 63 and 66 minutes, there were 3 or 4, that's before when they were still behind, 16-10. There were 3 or 4 moments where just such poor decision making, forcing the ball, playing at a frantic pace, trying to the miracle offload all the time.
The error rate was just insane.
And even the 12, he just had to offload on his inside, and it's just try under the sticks. We did eventually score from it, but he dummied and he went himself and he got tackled. So I stick by what I said after the first 2 rounds. I don't see a future test Springbok in that 23 that was on the field last night. You say you do feel there could be potential there?
Yeah, I like the fullback. I think it's Hakeem Kuneni. I like him. I think there's something there, and I really like the outside centre, Katleku Latabeli. The backs, I thought, did really well, considering they were...
So do you see them as future Springboks? Look, they've got 10 years, okay? There's a 10-year cycle now. Who played last year?
I may need an extension, but they're going to make it.
Look, Kanye Allen's going to be around for at least another 5, okay? So that rules out...
Those guys are going to come through.
And Jesse Crew's probably going to be around for another 10.
At least. All I'm saying is they've got these junior Boks have got 4 or 5 days now before the semi-final to fire whoever's been coaching the set piece, bring somebody in who can get them to at least hold it together at the scrum. I don't know if the hookers squint or what, but they've got to fix that line out. It's a debacle there. That has to be fixed. What they do have in their favour is they win the collisions on attack and defence, and they certainly had a lot more appetite indeed to go up and smash guys. So they can just get a little bit of technical ability at the set piece. They've got something.
And the Athlone flavour was certainly there. The best atmosphere I've seen at the under-20 championships.
Yeah, it was great.
The crowd got in behind them. It was a real South African chiz, and they'll be playing the playoffs in Athlone. So that bodes well for the junior Springboks. We like to call them the baby Boks. I know people don't like that, but they are the Baba Boks. France, though, for me, head and shoulders above anyone. Head and shoulders. Physically, mentally,
literally.
Skill-wise.
Yeah.
43-19 against Wales. Comfortable victors. 35-14 against the baby All Blacks. They needed to get 67 points, a differential, to qualify as the best second place. They scored 62 against Japan, but conceded 19. Again, just showed how they're not quite there. And they ended up 21 points short of going through, and 21 points was the difference that they lost to France. And therein tells me that France will go on. I think it will be the baby Boks against France in the final. I'd be surprised if we limit them to 20 points. They are such a superior team at the moment. They've got a set piece that I think will destroy us, and they've got backs that probably are the best in the tournament.
Mate, if this team of ours gets to the final, that'll be mission accomplished. If they get past the semis, I know you say Ireland are crap, but these guys, how they even escaped the pool stage is a mystery. Came down to a technicality. So I think France will wipe the floor with them if they meet in the final.
They've been very impressive, the French, and this will be if they win, it'll be their 3rd successive Under-20 World Championship. French rugby are really on fire at the moment.
Yeah.
They'll be waiting for the big implosion at the World Cup.
Coming.
And everyone else is going to forget
like an old croissant is going to flop.
All right, so Under-20s, we're still in it though. That's the main thing. As you said, maybe an heroic semi-final defeat will go better than being hammered in the final.
Yes.
And then winning the 3rd and 4th playoff. and kind of just feeling good about ourselves and saying we got a medal.
Correct.
But well done to the baby Boks for bouncing back. Showed a lot of character. Feels geluk, wel gedaan.
It just rolls off your tongue.
Flip shit up in die plaas. Ek was nou baie beïndig gewees met daai agterlyn.
Fabulous.
Hy mannetjies daar op die vleuel en center self.
Yeah, they were very good, like I've said. What did you think of Frankie's kid at Flaw?
Yeah, God, maar hy kan gaan dit nie maak nie.
You don't think so?
Good club player. I'm shipping him off to France.
Another one.
I think he should go straight to Italy and go play Italian club rugby. I mean, he's been over there for a large part of his life with his dad.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to make it in the big leagues. But I have shipped off a few guys who've come back and kind of.
Surely we're keeping
humbled
Imad
me.
Khan.
Oh, Imad Khan, his fitness, his condition is another thing that he's going to be a player that has to work very hard. He was such a wonderful schoolboy talent. He's going to have to work really hard on his conditioning and his focus.
Stay out of the drive-through.
Yeah, stay out of the McDonald's, the KFC, and the Burger King. Okay, so he needs to stay away from Parklands because they're all there. And Nando's right next to them. But yeah, just I think important when you host a World Championship that you actually make it to the playoffs, and so that's
Definitely.
how they got there.
Let's not talk about it.
But
Yeah.
they're there. Congratulations to them all.
Yes.
The big news, obviously, the Boks jersey. We loved it. Quite liking that away jersey as well. It's growing on me.
It's terrible.
I think it's magnificent.
I can't.
Have you seen some of the crap we played in the past?
Yeah, it might not be the worst, but it is pretty
Apparently, we're
terrible.
going to play in that one against the All Blacks.
No.
That's what I've heard,
Surely
mate.
not.
Because of the colorblind people.
Oh,
So we can't
my
play green
goodness,
against
mate.
black anymore.
No, mate.
So-
No, mate. Come now.
It'd be nice to see them at Mount Smart in Auckland playing in a jersey that's so foreign as the Springboks.
Wow. Why couldn't they just take the Bok jersey, keep the sleeves, and just make the chest white? Is that not enough?
No, mate. I like it. I like it. I think it's innovative. Nike, remember we said we like you
Yeah.
and we like what you've done.
Yeah.
Much better than the 2003 jerseys.
Yes, that is
Richard Bands is still trying to take his one off.
true. Cutting him out of it, mate.
Bok team selected. Rassie and Jacques had said from the beginning they're going to do a split squad. They're going to send 14 guys to New Zealand. They did that in the last couple of single round championships.
Yes, they did.
They got the win against Australia and South Africa, and then they drew 16-all in Wellington. I don't really know what acclimatizing the 14 Oaks have to do because they can't play against each other.
Yeah.
So,
Is Mount Smart at altitude?
no, it's sea level. New
Okay.
Zealand is at sea level, mate. It's a fucking island.
So what do they need to acclimatize to?
Just being in New Zealand, I guess. Eh?
Oh,
But
right.
looking at the side that he's picked, it's very different to what he did last season when they played Wales in the first test and Wales in the second test. That second test one, I thought they'd picked a side that they were happy. They wouldn't mind if they lost it so they could kick 6 or 7 players out.
Yeah.
And then go back to their side and say to the public, your team played and your team lost it. Boks were 12 or 11-6 up with 12-6 up there with a minute to play, and then they lost 13-12. Historic first ever win for Wales in South Africa in Bloemfontein last season. That's in the past. Eddie Jones's Wallabies have never won in South Africa. This will be their 8th game since 1963. They've lost.
They've never won in South Africa?
I'm sorry, in Pretoria.
Yeah.
Jeez, they have won in South Africa.
Yeah.
But never in Pretoria at Loftus. It's their hoodoo ground. But like Brisbane is to us, he'll think he's got a chance when he looks at that team, when he sees the 14 players that have been sent to New Zealand to prepare for the All Blacks. What do you make of this Boks side that he's picked, the run on 15?
I'm going to say that all the way up to the World Cup, that 12 months leading up to it is going to be one, looking back, people are going to realize it's been one big phony war. It's not about playing the best team and winning games. It's about getting answers to combinations and depth and alternatives without actually showing your hand. And I think Eddie's going to indulge in the same sort of BS by picking a team that isn't necessarily what's going to play at the World Cup or play the way they're going to play at the World Cup. Picking these mismatched teams means there is no tape for coaches to look at and go, okay, this is what the Boks are about. It creates doubt. It creates questions. Well, who is their best combination? How will they play? So I think it's all part of that. I think it's great to see Jean Klein in the mix. New look lock combination. I like the center pairing of the two Sharks guys. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I don't know how much constructive value you're going to be able to take out of it.
All right, I was looking at the side and then going back to the 2019 World Cup final. We're in a very unique position. I don't think a team's ever
Had the continuity.
taken so many players through and still believe that they've got it. So if you look at that side that started the 2019 final Beast is no longer there, he's retired.
Right.
That's basically it. Okay.
Jeez.
Francois Lowe was on the bench, is retired. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest are all in the mix.
Francis Steyn.
France Stain's injured. So the rest are all there and they've been playing. If you look at the side he's chosen, Willie obviously is the conductor at the back, and then he's chosen the two Bulls winners.
That's the Bulls back three there at Loftus.
Bulls back three, going back to the old existing Sharks midfield, Lekanya Am and Andre Esterhuizen. Mani, the form fly, had to be picked.
Yeah.
And then Kobus Reinach, who's played well, and he's always going to be in the mix. Grant Williams, and to come off the bench, he's had a very good URC.
Yeah.
Faf, without doubt, they're number one. Dwayne Vermeulen, last year there was talk that they said he had 5 games left in him.
Rusty said it, yeah.
And that included the World Cup final.
Correct.
He played against the All Blacks, he came back too soon.
Yeah.
Everyone wrote him off, said, is this the end? He had a very good season with Ulster. To me, this is them saying to him, let's see if you've still got it at test
100%.
level. Against a team we potentially face in the playoffs, and you lead the team out. I don't think he will go to New Zealand. Dwayne, I think they will keep him back there.
Yeah, sorry, yes, okay.
And this is for him to show that I can take the URC form into that. If not, Jasper Wiese is their first choice at the moment, and Evan Rus is the young gun that could come through. Obviously, Sia would come back instead of Marco van Staden, and Peter Steff will start. Lurt and Eben would be your starting locks if fit. In their absence, it's who goes on the bench with Ergies Snyman. Is it Klein? Is it Marvin Ori? Is it Kwagga Smith, and they don't go for the extra lock? And then that front row has always been interchangeable. So you go Bongi or Marks, you go Marks or Bongi. France is the starting tight head.
Yep.
And then Lou said whether they start with Ox and then get Kitty to finish the game. It looks like he may be involved because of Ox's strain. But I would see about 6 or 7 of this team starting a World Cup final.
No, for sure. For sure.
And the only players that would be involved in the backs would be Willie Leroux and Lekanya Am. So you've got 5, say, B team players that are out there, and then in the pack you've got probably 3 or 4 B team players. I like the fact that Klein's starting and that Ergie is coming off the bench. And that's the Munster locking pair that destroyed the Stormers in the final.
Yeah.
So I like the balance of the squad, but there's a lot of things they're saying to the squad when I look at it to say, go and prove to us that you are the depth that's required to go into the World Cup squad.
Specifically on that bench, Thomas Dutoy and Vinnie Koch, they've got to get on the field and they've got to do their thing and they've got to play at the level to show that they are the guys to be there.
Yeah.
I think this Rugby Championship is going to be about that tier of player.
Yeah, so it's Thomas Dutoy, especially one of those. Never quite done it. He's had several opportunities. He captained the SAA side at the end of last year's tour, and they were just awful in getting hammered by a Munster B team and a Bristol Bears C team. But when you look at, I think Joe Dwebe lucky to be there, given the inconsistency in his performances when it comes to structured hooker play. Has an opportunity again to impress. It's a very settled bunch. The key there is if Pollard doesn't recover, is it a Dami Villansomani, Lebok, Alton Yankees trio, or is it just he goes with 2 and he backs the 2 to go, or they give Pollard as much time to get fit? I think this is also could be lost. It's kind of saying to Esterhuizen, if he doesn't come through here, he won't go to the World Cup. Then they would look elsewhere.
I mean, he's a specialist 12.
That's it, and he's really got to make an impact. So it's a big game for him on Saturday, and at Loftus against the Wallabies. And they know with Kirtley and Moody, they're in the wins. Mapimpi and Cheslin are the first choice starters. You could also look at Kirtley at fullback, Willie on the bench to replace him later on in the game. So that's very settled for me. Reinach's been in the mix for the best part of 4 or 5 years. And then Marvin Ori, he's got to show that kind of form that he showed in Super Rugby URC, and get a bit more consistency in terms of his mongrel when it comes to the Boks.
And Evan Rus is going to have to take his chance when it comes, because Jean-Luc Dupree is in the mix again, offers massive versatility. Everything's on the line there. So the Boks are going to field a team that's very motivated to perform, but they've got the get out of jail free card in the sense that from a coaching perspective, you're not really going to show too much in terms of what will play at the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie has said that he wants to pick a team that's going to run us ragged at altitude. I mean, I think he could run himself ragged. Yeah.
Come on, Eddie. No one believes it.
No one believes it. I know you're going to go out there and try and physically beat us up. He's going to pick some big boys. I think it's going to be a great test match. It's a nice one to kickstart it.
Skelton at Loftus. I want to see that boy get around the field.
Exactly. You'll probably get around for about 40 minutes, right? This isn't La Rochelle, mate. This isn't those soft padded fields.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great game. We're going to preview that later in the week, as we will do the All Blacks against Argentina in Mendoza, first time they ever playing there.
Magic.
Which also creates a very different vibe. Mendoza, very different rugby city to play in than Buenos Aires.
Yes.
So, Baby Boks, well done, Zels.
Yeah, fabulous. They're going all the way, mate.
They're going all the way. You heard it first here from SA Rugby Magazine's editor, Zalimnel. The Baby Boks are going all the way. He'll talk about what the Boks are going to do in our Friday preview. But I'm telling you now already, it's not going to be pretty for Eddie's Wallabies. Bye-bye now.